was originally inspired by this blue silky sort of slip material, and then I had the idea of making a layered skirt with this green floral mesh on top of it. I found some pictures on Pinterest that were pretty close to what I was imagining, so I figured it would probably work. I first began by making a practice skirt out of muslin, which is a fairly cheap material that is great to practice on, especially since I only had enough of the blue fabric for one attempt. The practice skirt actually saved this whole project because in the beginning I didn't realize that in order to create a cinched waistline you actually need more fabric on the waist so that there's something to cinch up, which was quite the sewing epiphany, and I'm glad that I had something to practice on. Alright, so now it is time to pin it, and the pins match beautifully. Peep the mess everywhere. Peep the kale and lettuce growing over there. This chunk is going to be the test patch. Oh, that's good. I don't know. It seems to be sewing pretty well on this fabric. The ends are a little wonky, but I think that'll be good. Look at that. Oh my god, I'm not listening to music. How could I not listen to music? Of course, I ended up ripping out one of the seams like 3 times before I was happy with it, but eventually I got it to work and it was fitting pretty well already. Now the hard part began because I had to figure out not only how to attach the elastic to the waist, but also how to incorporate the tutu-esque material to that seam. I need to stuff this in it. After about 5 solid minutes of just staring at the daunting blob of fabric on my floor, I started pinning the elastic to the waist. I watched some YouTube video on this, and apparently you're supposed to pin the middle of the elastic to the seams, and then the middle of those to the middle of the seams. And that explanation made no sense, but basically you just pin it evenly all around so that when you sew, the scrunch factor is consistent. It was pretty tedious and really confusing with multiple layers, but then I just decided to go for it and I sewed it on. When you're sewing on elastic, you have to constantly pull it to the length of the fabric so that when you release it, the fabric bunches up. And I had never done that before, so I was thoroughly shocked that I didn't mess up, and it actually looked kind of good. Finished. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. I can't believe that turned out well. I was really expecting to mess up, but I didn't. Okay, time for dinner. The last step was to rip out a seam again and resew it with the mesh also so that the top layer wouldn't suddenly fly up into the air. And that's it. I asked my mom to film this final montage in the park, which I was terrified to do but did it anyway for the aesthetic. So shout out to my mom for doing that, and please enjoy.